want to show you, since we are on the topic of cancellation, a YouTuber, another YouTuber, on this very platform. Yeah, they tried to cancel him for associating with yours truly. So how about we check this one out? This is a YouTuber that I've already shown a couple of times because this guy's a cool guy. We do collaborations together. We react to each other. One could say we farm each other for views, but you know what it is. You know the spiel that apparently I am too much of an extremist, so this is not something that people are gonna accept. So we're talking about, this video is about me, so we gotta watch it, right? Alright, so Evil Dia, friend of the channel. And believe it or not, we collaborate on the language space, because for those who don't know, I have a second channel called Metatron's Academy. It's at 150,000 subs, and all I do on that channel is languages, full stop, nothing else. And that's the channel we collaborate together. But no, they went for him. They went for him. So are you ready, guys? Let's have a look.
What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to do a react to an email. Normally I wouldn't do this, but this email I've received a couple of times now, not from the same person, but from a few different people, and I've even seen comments about this, and I feel like this is definitely something that I need to get ahead of before people think that this is acceptable behavior. Okay, so before we do that, I do want to say, please don't go out and email me. Unless you're trying to point my attention to an actual fraud that exists in the language space, or something like a really dodgy app or sales tactic or something, because it's just, I do not have time to respond to every email.
Fair.
Like, I understand you guys have got language questions. Like, I get that, but you shouldn't be emailing a YouTuber and asking for bespoke responses. Like, I have a YouTube channel for that. I have a Discord community for that. If you really, really, really want to make contact with me, hit that join button, become a member, and you can join the special section in Discord where I like to hang out, okay? And that's your best way of getting in contact with me. But don't email me. It's not because I don't love you and I'm just milking you for money. The second part is true. I am milking you for money. But it's because, realistically, if I don't respond, you're going to think I'm an ass and I'm going to feel like an ass. And realistically, I have received a lot of emails and I do feel like an ass for not responding.
I sympathize.
But this email, this needs to be spoken about, because this type of behavior is unacceptable.
Yes.
Okay? So let's read the email. Now, the email says hi. That's how it starts, okay? Now, first up, I don't know if this is an Australian perspective on things, but generally if I start an email with hi, it means I know the other person I'm talking to, and it's like we have a relationship between us. We've established some type of relationship. However, if I don't know you, I'm going to put your name in there. Otherwise, this feels a little bit rude. But this may be my personal perspective as an Australian writing an email. I would actually love to know what your perspective is on this, guys, because my wife is Chinese. She says you always need to put the name in. Anyway.
Yeah, for me, I think I would have said, hello, good evening. Hi is a little informal. It's like your friends, but whatever.
I have followed your channel for years. I learned to understand spoken Esperanto and improved my English from many, many videos from you I watched. So definitely a long-time fan, okay?
Yes.
However, it is so bad that you are trying to write on his followers. Now, you can see that this person wrote this email almost without thinking, because they just assumed I know who his followers are. Like, I've responded and made reacts to many people before. Now, later on in the email, they clarified they're talking about Metatron. It becomes very obvious very quickly they're talking about Metatron. But the fact that you didn't even bother to introduce the name of the person that you're writing an email about straight up just shows that you've kind of written this without thinking it through. Okay?
But we're getting a full psychological breakdown of one of my Reddit haters. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, it's just pretty bad.
Now, I want to say this very early on the video because it's important for me that as many people as possible hear this. But the guy, Evil Dia, was literally targeted by the Reddit Blue Sky cultist mob simply for reacting to me. He did not bend the knee, but he stood the ground and defended my point. This is very rare these days. Everybody bends the knee to the mob. He did not. I'm going to put a link to his channel. So please pause the video right now and go subscribe to him and leave him a comment on his latest video. We need to make a precedent that when people like in the cultist cancel culture mob try to accuse me or whoever it is of being some kind of far-right extremist and try to cancel someone because of quote-unquote associating with me, then that very person, the target of the cancellation, should benefit from it. That will send a clear message to the mob.
Now, also, funnily enough, most people think I'm more like riding the coattails of Oriental Pearl. That's the recent comments I've been getting. A lot of people think because I'm a dude and I made some videos and I defended Oriental Pearl and like a debate that happened between her and abroad in Japan that I must be a simp. It's kind of crazy that people think that a dude cannot respect a woman. Yep, online. I know. Crazy shit, but it is what it is. Okay, the guy says that there is nothing wrong with being proud of your ethnicity. Okay, so this here is in reference to this part down here where Metatron made a video on being racist against white people.
Yep.
And I think Metatron's stance is, and he can correct this if he wants, is that, you know, it's okay to be a white person. And realistically, it is. You can be a white person if you want.
Based, although it's funny that he says you can be a white person if you want. So if you're creating a character in D&D and you get to choose, but anyways, I'm just nitpicking, of course. Yeah, exactly. It's okay to be white.
However, I will add to this that I think it's kind of stupid if you're proud of your ethnicity. And this is not like a white specific thing. If you're proud that you're white, you're proud that you're black, you're proud that you're yellow, you're proud that you're a fucking pretzel, I don't care. It's kind of stupid. In fact, if someone says to me, hey, I'm proud I'm white, or I'm proud I'm black, that tells me that you have achieved nothing in your life because that's the only thing that you're proud of. You're literally...
Okay, so that's an interesting perspective. I disagree with it, but I do appreciate that he applies it coherently. Did you notice that? That's very important, because the problem with people is that and that's what I attack on my video, Can You Be Racist to White People, is the double standards. Like, and we see this in AI, we see this in a lot of discussions about this topic. So at least for him, it's stupid to be. I understand the point of view. I'll tell you what I think. I'll give a response to this, but I appreciate that he's applying it consistently. He's not just saying it's stupid if you're proud of being white, but if it's a black person, you can do it. No, he's being intellectually consistent. And even though I disagree, because I think that he's using ethnicity as race only, might be wrong. I'll see what else he says. Ethnicity is more than that. Then I do think that it's fine to be proud of the achievements of your nation, culture, civilization, history. I think that's fine, but it's also fine not to be. I don't particularly care. Anyways, let's see. I'll let him finish.
Proud of something that is an immutable characteristic that you did not even set into motion. It was literally your mum who created you.
Yeah, exactly. So you see, he's talking about phenotypic traits, the immutable characteristics. So he's using. I would respond to you like this, Evil D. If you want to talk about this on a live stream, be more than happy to do it. But I'm saying, ethnicity doesn't mean race. Race is one thing. Ethnicity includes the culture. It does include the ancestral genome, the fact that we look alike. Usually when we are from a specific ethnic group, we tend to look alike, but it also includes language, it includes culture, it includes religion. There are a lot of it's a lot deeper. So I think the kind of pride that I think anyone can have, whether you be white, African, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Southeast Asian, German, whatever the heck, is the kind of stuff that when someone comes to me and tells me, man, Italians really know how to cook pasta, or if they tell me, man, there's nothing better than an Italian sports car, I feel a little, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you have your own, but in your own country, but it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, yeah, it's one of us. Like, you know, we do this. It's funny. Italians, we're good at making cars. So like that kind of pride is not the same as the kind of stuff that becomes devious. But then again, I also understand this point of view. It's like, no, you should be proud of your personal achievements. I have nothing against that. It's not the way I feel. I think it's fine. And by the way, the Japanese, when I was in Japan, every time I would say, man, it's so cool that you Japanese know all of these kanji and the samurai is so cool. The Japanese were always like, oh, so this, it was so, you could tell. And that's what I'm talking about when, you know, you can be proud of whatever the heck. And that's that.
Mum and your dad. It was a combined effort. Although, let's just say Mum, she did a bit more effort there in the beginning.
True.
But, like, there's nothing that you contributed in the ethnicity department. Like, realistically. So why the fuck would you be proud of that? It just seems stupid. So don't go down in the comment section and be like, I'm proud that I'm white. I'm proud that I'm black. If you're proud that you're a pretzel, okay, maybe there was something you did there. But, like, overall, don't. It's just stupid, bro. It's just stupid. Okay, anyway.
Let's go.
While. Okay. So now we've got a conjunction happening here. We see mass deportation of Latin American people in the USA, Arab and Muslims in literal concentration camps in Europe, the genocidal TikTokers dancing away their war crimes while exploiting houses of displaced people.
What?
Breath. Okay, so as you can see, I just got hit with the entire crimes of the universe. No, actually, that's incorrect. This is a very American and a very European perspective. Maybe,
Yes.
Funnily enough, Israel's basically a European perspective. Like, perspective on the world. I don't see anything about the mass genocide that's happening in, Sudan at the moment, or
Fair
what's
point.
happening, in different parts of Africa, or what's happening over in China with, various different groups. Like, this is a very, very American perspective on politics, and apparently Metatron made a video called Being Racist Against White People, which, by the way, I watched, guys. This is the video.
Thank you.
You can watch it. It's basically him talking about the evolution of the word racist and
Yes.
why we should not redefine the word racist, okay?
I
Now,
double
if you're
down.
confused about redefining the word racist, that's what we're going to get into right now. So he says, his video on being racist against white people just shows that he either does not understand racism, a tool of oppression used by the ruling class, which is unthinkable given his knowledge of history, or worse, he understands it and chose a side. Okay, so we have two definitions of racism.
I'll answer to the hater. I understand it, and I chose a side.
Going at war here, and as a language channel, this be my this is what I'm going to talk about. First, we need to sit.
I'm actually curious to see what he thinks. I'm actually curious to see what he thinks about the definition of racism. But can I know where these, what is it, Muslims in literal concentration camp? You use the word literal. This is not symbolic, hypothetical. It's literal. Where are these concentration camps in Europe of Muslims? What is he on about? Like, these people live in fantasy land. This is cuckoo.
Okay, so let's start by defining each camp's battlegrounds, where their battle lines are. Metatron
Yes.
is basically a Neanderthal when it comes Neanderthal. Okay, when it comes to the definition of racism, he's like, ooh, I white, ooh, you black. If I hate you, I racist. If you hate me, you racist.
That's exactly it. Yes, you're correct. I use the same definition of racism that we have been using from the Paleolithic all the way to 15 minutes ago. So that's a correct representation of my position on what racism means. Thank you.
Because we have different... Ooh, you black. If I hate you, I racist. If you hate me, you racist because we have different skin color. If that's the reason why, okay. That's what racism is to him. I hate you because of your skin color and nothing else, I'm a racist.
Yes.
Now, your definition, let's just say, is a little more modern, okay? It's got a whole matrix that works behind it, and I'm going to be realistically, this new definition of racism, it doesn't work for me.
Thank you.
The definition is basically you've got the oppressor, which apparently is a certain ethnicity, and then you've got the oppressed, which is a certain ethnicity or various ethnicities, and then if it goes from top to bottom, like someone attacks someone down below due to their skin color, that's racism, but if it goes in the reverse direction up, I've been told that that's not racism, that is discrimination. Now, to me, this makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to be honest right now. Okay?
Thank you.
I work with Metatron's definition.
Based.
If you hate someone just due to their skin color,
I want to hear that again.
I work with Metatron's definition. If you hate someone just due to their skin color, I don't care their skin color, you're a racist in my eyes. And I'm going to say probably in 95% of people's eyes, that's the definition that they operate by. If you ask someone on the street what their definition of racism is, that's pretty much racism, okay? So I understand that you're working via a more like academic sense of the word.
Academic being an insult in this case. If you know, you know.
Racism, but this is not how most people operate, okay? That's just not how they operate. And why I say that I don't like this definition is simple for one reason.
If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.
In Australia, as a white guy, I guess in your matrix, I would be in the oppressor group, okay? If I shat on a Chinese person, for those who don't know, my wife is Chinese, just due to them being yellow-skinned, okay, I would be the racist, okay? But if someone who was Chinese here did it in reverse, they would just be discrimination. However, it is easy for me to flip that dynamic. All I got to do is jump on a plane, fly to China, and then have a Chinese person on me just due to my skin color, which by the way has happened in the past, and no longer, if I did it back to them, would I be a racist? I would just be discriminating them. So in Australia, I could literally, according to this definition, shit on a Chinese person, be called a racist, go to China, do the exact same thing, and then just be committing discrimination.
Yeah, not a racist anymore. Come on. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I'm going to add a little extra thing. It is a is a justification to perpetrate their hatred towards white people because it's the targeted group. And it's a mental manipulation linguistic technique used to try and confuse you and be like, no, you can't be racist if you're non-white towards white people. No, so that they can do it, so that they can get away with it. Not on my watch. I really appreciate. He just destroyed. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it is.
Nation. Do you see how that makes no sense to me?
Thank you.
To me, it is much more simple to keep the word simple, as in, if you do it based on skin color, you're a racist. And that's what the operation,
exactly.
that is my operandum, that I work by.
Same.
In the Discord that we've got, because, we've got a rule against no racism in the Discord. That's how we operate, okay? None of this, new fancy schmancy terminology. I don't care. Now, I'm also going to add, though, if I put you and Metatron down in a room and I said you're not allowed to use any fancy words, tell me. And I asked Metatron, Metatron, if I someone just because they're black, what would I be? And he'd say racist. And then I said, if a black person did that to me, and he said racist, and then I'd go, okay. And if I asked you the same thing, okay, let's not even use the word like racist here. Is it bad to on someone just due to their skin color? And you said yes. Then don't you agree fundamentally anyway? Don't you?
I understand the point he's making, and yes, the point he's making is, even if the guy on the other side, this clown that wrote him an email, he is trying to push this thing, if it's not systemic, then it doesn't count as racism. And the idea, the point that he's making, I'm just going to explain the obvious, is, right, but it's still a bad thing, right? And then he's expecting this guy to be decent and say, well, yeah, even if I don't call it racism, it's discrimination, and that's a bad thing. So fundamentally, he can find a point of agreement or intellectual overlap with me. Problem is, my friend, that he won't agree to that. Not this kind of person. Because if you can find, and there are, people that even though they have a different perspective on the meaning and the technicalities of it, but they tell you, yeah, no, it's a deplorable. This is my point, by the way. I say this all the time. Even if we played it by their rules, it is still a deplorable thing to do, to hate white people. For what? It's like there's just on the basis of us being white, like it makes no sense. It's awful. But they won't, because they'll tell you, but it's the oppressor class. And I demonstrated on that video at the very beginning that they say not even white children deserve innocence for what the white race has done. So the likes of this will not grant you this point, Evil Dia. I will. I'll say, yeah, absolutely. You're right. This guy will not.
You think that you're both in agreement. You just don't like the definition he uses because it doesn't fit into your worldview, and he doesn't like the definition you use because it doesn't fit into his worldview. Okay, but essentially, at the end of the day, you both agree, or at least I hope you both agree.
No, he doesn't, my friend, but prove me wrong. But you can ask. He has got people in the comments, by the way. It's not just this email. Every time he shows my face on his thumbnail, because these people don't even watch, he gets, like, I've seen it, he gets like 10, 15 people, 20 people saying, I can't believe you would show that far-right extremist Metatron white nationalist. How dare you? Unsubscribe. Yeah, he gets these people. None of those people will agree to this simple test of decency. They will find a justification as to why it's right to hate on white people. It's how it is. And I'm not saying everyone. I've seen a couple of comments that were fair. They were like, I can't stand Metatron, he's annoying, but you do whatever you want. It's fine, that's okay. They're not calling me names. He just personally doesn't like me. That's fine. Probably I wouldn't like him either. Him meaning the person in the comments. I can respect that. Not everyone has to be into me. The way I speak maybe can be annoying. I totally get it. I can be really annoying when it comes to like being pedantic and that kind of stuff. I get it. But it's the people that do the cultist cancel culture mentality. They are scum. And I'm so glad he's not bending the knee. He's standing the ground. You know what? When I put a link, go subscribe, guys, because this guy, and I would like to underline, just so it's clear, me and him have different politics. This guy leans left on some things, more like a center. for what I understand. Plus, he's Australian, so his positions are different. I would consider he's like either a centrist or a centrist who's left-leaning. But as you can see, he's standing the ground and he doesn't care. And he's not asking for my cancellation. So I strongly suggest you go subscribe to him. That's the kind of people that I appreciate. That's the kind of people that I appreciate. And do it also to annoy the email guy, because he literally accused him of writing on my audience. Let's make it happen at this point. Let's double his subscriber count. You know what I mean? Make him mad.
So let's continue. I know for a long time that you are not very politically educated. I'm gonna say something right now. If you ever feel the need to email someone who you do not personally know and basically straight out insult them, because this is an insult, because you don't know what I know about politics. You don't know if I have a diploma in this. You don't know if I'm fully engaged in this stuff, and in fact, I am. I actually know a lot.
He's like ex-military, isn't he?
A lot about politics. Yeah, being ex-military, being possibly needing to serve in multiple countries around the world. Yeah, I know a lot about politics, okay. I also own businesses, so it's kind of important to me to understand what's going on in politics. Like, I know a lot about politics.
Guy is he's a coder, by the way. He's a programmer, just so we know. It's not just that he's into languages, but he's also that.
And I can easily ignore that because your videos are fun, useful for language learners, and promote Esperanto. And being an Esperantist, you should probably know that I know about politics. But Metatron went from an okay history and language channel to a right-wing extremist supporter. Now,
I'm an extremist, guys. That's me. The extremist. The guy who says, hey, how about we don't hate everyone? How about we don't hate anyone on the basis of race? How about we don't... No, that's an extremist. My gosh, Mussolini would be proud.
Say straight up, because your politics is all defined what's happening in America and the Europe, and it's not defined by what's happening in East Asia or in Africa or even in South America per se. I'm going to say that you're probably not that politically educated.
Thank you.
Maybe you do know about this stuff, but you obviously don't care about what's happening over in Africa and in Europe. Now, you might say it's because, like, I need to care about the stuff that's happening to me locally. And I'd say, okay, fine. I'm Australian. So I don't care what's happening in America. I know what's happening over there, but I don't care because I'm not American.
That's fair.
I'm also not European. Hell, I'm not an Israeli or in the Middle East. I care politically. I engage with what's most important to my world right now. That's what's happening in Australia, what's happening in New Zealand, what's happening in China, because that will economically impact on us. Now, yes, we trade with America. It's important to us. But at the same time, our trade deals with America, not much is going to happen there, okay? Yeah, they may have a little bit of a squabble here and there, left, right, and center, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen. What happens with China is way more important to us. Makes sense. I politically know what's going on over there at all times, okay? I bet you don't. Okay, every day he's showing more of his extremist side.
Yeah.
Okay, did I miss a part? Yes. Every day it becomes more obvious that he's another guy swimming in the culture wars while promoting the worst side of it. I'm going to say if you're engaged in the culture wars, whether left or right, as deemed from an American perspective of politics, because I have to keep saying that because it's very different depending on country you're in, you probably are just as dirty as everyone else in that space, okay? Because the culture war it's a whole heap of bullshit.
Oh my gosh, yes. I swim in fecal matter every day that I open X and I read the likes of Secular Talk, Destiny, Hassan Piker, and the likes. So yeah, that's actually, that's the latrine. That's a latrine overflowing onto the roads of Rome, my friends.
Most of it, like 90% of what's happening in the culture wars is just fucking bullshit. It's just people looking for something to fill a void in their life and talk about. Okay? So if your life has become so bad that you feel the need to email a random YouTuber who is in some way you deem associated with another political YouTuber about the politics of that other YouTuber and your own politics, then I'm going to say you're probably too deep down the rabbit hole and you need to get the out, breathe some air, and just, step back into the real world.
He's absolutely right. And I'm not even a political YouTuber. I'm a variety content creator that sometimes decides, hey, this is nonsense, I'm going to talk about it because I'm not afraid of speaking my mind. So that involves politics as well, mostly within the spectrum of either culture war, video games. But a lot of the time, if you think about it, it's been reaction in the sense that, if there are liars like Freda who spread misinformation about me, or the Afrocentrists who spread misinformation about me, I'm going to counter that with the truth. I'm going to do that. But in general, and of course, after Charlie Kirk, I felt this calling, and I decided I wanted to do it because I thought I need to stand up. This is disgusting. But that was really a matter of human decency. It wasn't even the politics.
Additionally, you say, why do you associate with him? Do you plan to keep doing that?
The cultish behavior. It's the same thing that happened to Emiru. Are you gonna disavow Asmongold? Same thing.
Now, if you didn't include this last line, I probably would have just ignored your email along with all the others. But this here, this is some cultish behavior right here. You're basically implying to me that if I plan to do this, if I reply to you and say, yes, I plan to keep reacting to him, because like YouTube, I don't know if you guys know this, but most YouTubers are not like friends as in like your mate you go out and have a Barbie with type of thing. Even most streamers are not friends.
Yeah, of course.
We operate in the same space. He farms me for views. I farm him for views. We have a YouTube bromance where we make jokes and stuff. Our audiences like it. There's a bit of a crossover. So that's what we do. It's not like me and Metatron go down to the church and baptize our babies together. You know, him with his baby
Obviously.
and me with my cat.
But they don't care about that. They don't care about that because to them is, well, you didn't say he's a far-right grifter, so...
And go down to the church and baptize our babies together. You know, him with his baby and me with my cat. Fuck, I'm an atheist and he's a Christian. I'm not saying that they can't communicate, guys. I got no problems with Christians. My point being is, he's just another YouTuber who I chat with from time to time.
Yeah.
Just like all the other YouTubers. So are you saying to me that if I associate with anyone who you deem to be on the right wing of politics, because this whole spectrum's a mess, okay, that you're going to cut me off? Well, then he can turn around and email me and say, Evil Deer, if you react to anyone who is a left-wing extremist supporter, well, there goes half of you, like, Esperanto YouTube. like I'm going to lose everyone. I'm going to have no one to communicate with, okay? And the crazy thing is, most people are going to fall into either way to the far left or way to the far right, and I swear to God, the center is becoming more and more rare these days. And
it is because people have this idea that you have to call even slightly moderate people extremists. It's what it is, yeah.
Again, I say the center according to American perspective of politics, which as an uneducated or politically uneducated Australian YouTuber apparently doesn't know, I have to always specify from American perspective, because if I specify from an Australian perspective, it doesn't really make too much sense, okay?
Yeah.
So, you should not be doing this. This is some underhanded, cultish, weird-ass behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stepping a line.
A YouTuber to try and make them cut context with another YouTuber. Okay.
Unbelievable.
If after this you still feel the need that you can no longer watch me anymore, then I wish you your best on your merry way, and I hope you get out of whatever like circle you're within.
Yes.
And if you don't believe me that I interact
the circle is called Reddit.
With like people on your side of politics, bro, everyone in the Esperanto YouTube space is in your side of politics. Everyone. And I react to them and I comment on their videos all the time. Okay, I've literally seen videos from Esperanto speakers, you know, trying to cancel the Universal Congress over in America because of what's happening in American politics right now, from the American left-hand side of politics. And I'm still more than happy to talk with those guys. Okay? And the last thing I do want to add to this is, why do we feel the need that every single commentator, anyone who's an internet personality, whatever the that may mean, needs to lay out their politics before you're happy to enjoy their content?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it every YouTuber, singer, actor, TikToker, guy with a cat portfolio feels the need that this is my politics and I cannot talk with you unless you're in my side of politics? Yeah. Over here, I have one rule, okay? As long as you're not a fraud, I'll chat with you. I'll be your friend.
Sounds good.
That's pretty much it. Hell, I've even had people that on me. I'm still happy to talk with them. I don't give a As long as you're not trying to sell some, I'm fine. Now, I know that last statement, you're going to be like, but he's selling politics. Oh, God, here we go. All the politics is in some way or another, bro. If you're going to engage in that space, you're covered in okay? Just get out of that area and move on with your life. Okay, I hope I've made my stance quite clear. If anyone's enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comment section. You know, it'd be very fun to see if you guys can try figure... You know what? Label me down in the comment section. What do you think I am? Do you think I'm a far rightist? Do you think I'm a far leftist? Do you think I'm a communist? Do you think I'm a fascist? What do you guys think I am?
What do you guys think? I think he's center, maybe leaning left a little bit, but he's center. I think he's a centrist. So anyways, this was fantastic to see. He got stormed by the by my enemies from Reddit and Blue Sky, and he stood the ground like a man. And that's what I like seeing. I do appreciate seeing that for a change. You know, we've seen a lot of nonsense these days, so that's cool. Hold it there, traveler. Do you know what this is? This is my Twitch channel called Metatron Gemini. I play a lot of games, it's a lot of fun. So don't be a muppet and click the link in the description box. Look, I even put it as a pinned comment. What else do you want me to do? I made it so easy. Come on. Follow me on Twitch. See you there.